What's good, everybody? What's good? What's good? What's good? How's it going? Happy New Year, everyone. Merry New Year. Happy New Year. What's going on, man? Glad to be back. Missed you guys. Hope you guys had a good New Year. Hope you guys had some fun. You had safe fun. And just happy to be back. It's been a while. I've been purposely kind of trying to stay away from the podcast or the live streams just because it's been quiet. I don't really want to come on here and mislead anybody, especially with catchy titles. I'd rather know something or find out something and then try and get you guys that information as quick as I possibly can. So with that said, Happy New Year. Hope you guys had fun. Thanks for making, Sports Geek a decent community so far. We got a long way to go, but we're going to get there with your help. And I appreciate every single one of you. Last year, just getting the subscriber count up, and we want to progress forward this year. And like I said, I can't do without you guys. So I appreciate every single one of you. Remember to like, subscribe, share, and comment. All right. So with that said, let's talk about this real quick. The Yankees are pondering more moves per Jack Curry of the Yes Network. We all know this. We all know this already. This is nothing new. That's because right now the Yankees are pretty much at their top level for the luxury cap, right? What moves can they make, right? Right now, they're said that according to them, they're going to go with DJ LeMahieu and Cabrera as well as Peraza fighting out for the third base spot. I think it's a bad move. I'm hoping they don't go that way. There are more options out there. I know the options that I would love to have, as well as other fans would love to have, doesn't mean it's going to happen. Like, we all know the absolute solution for the Yankees right now, that additional bat that they need would be either a top flight bat, like I said, either Austin Riley, maybe a Ozzie Albies, maybe a Brendan Donovan, and so on and so forth. Doesn't mean that we're going to get those people. We want them as fans. I want them as a fan. Doesn't mean that the Cardinals or Atlanta or even the Ketel Marte, doesn't mean the Diamondbacks are going to trade those guys or offer them up for trade. Some of them have pretty decent contracts, as in favorable contracts compared to what players are getting paid nowadays. So why would a team want to offer up such a talented player unless they get back a super haul of prospects? And I'm not sure that the Yankees are in that realm of giving prospects away, just because if you look what they've done so far this offseason, they really haven't given up any of their top prospects, right? We've got Devin Williams, but we traded Nestor Cortez and Caleb Durman. Yes, he was a top prospect, but he wasn't like a top 10, right? Look at what other trades we made. Oh, we got Cody Bellinger for Cody Poteet. Obviously, they're taking on the majority of that money from the Cubs. The Cubs wanted some salary relief, and therefore, that wasn't a big give on our part to get Cody Bellinger. So, they did sign Paul Goldschmidt. They did sign Max Fried, and those are their two big acquisitions right now. I think that what's disturbing with the Yankees is, in my opinion, is that let's just go back. All right. And what if they did sign Soto? Oops. Sorry. Can't say his name. I promised in other podcasts I wouldn't say his name. So we're going to call him the Shuffle. Let's call him the Shuffle. All right. When they lost it on the Shuffle, which is now a Met, before their original plan was to try and sign him to their team. And as much as it pains me to think about him not being here, and not because I really care that he's here, like a player should be able to sign and play wherever they want. That's not why I'm upset. You know, it's like dating, right? You date someone or whatever, and you break up, or they leave you, or you leave them, and life goes on. It sucks. It's going to hurt for a little while. It's going to sting, but you can't talk bad about the person. It's kind of childish, right? You can't really, you know, feel some sort of way about them. That's not the mature way to handle it. But as human beings, because we do feel, you know, we tend to kind of scorn those. We tend to kind of take out our frustration. But my frustration is not that he plays for the Mets. I simply wanted Soto to be a Yankee for my own selfish reasons, because I wanted the Yankees to have a legitimate 1-2 punch. Meaning, if you go back to Yankee traditions, they had, like, you know, Maris and Mantle, Gehrig and Babe, like all those guys, like that pair was dynamic. And I want to see that tradition continue in my lifetime. That's why I'm angry. You know, those two could have been great together, you know, from a Yankee traditional standpoint, having two monsters. Remember, Giancarlo was brought in when the Yankees were not able to even get a meeting with Shohei Ohtani. He signed with the Angels. Cashman had to, there's that word again, pivot to the Marlins, and Aaron Judge just was the American League MVP. And then Stanton won the MVP. So I know what Cashman was thinking. He's like, oh, I'm going to recreate the Bash brothers of old, but on the Yankee team, on the Yankee side. If those of you guys aren't old enough to know who the Bash brothers are, that's Mark McGwire and Jose Canseco. Just look them up. They were two power hitters, and they propelled Oakland Athletics to a lot of winning games, a lot of wins back in the day. So he wanted to recreate the Bash brothers, but on the Yankee side, it didn't quite work. Giancarlo really hasn't been who he was supposed to be. And that's been the big letdown for Aaron Judge, or for the Yankees in general. That protection for Judge isn't there. Now, I'm not going to pick on Giancarlo Stanton. I promised I wouldn't, because, like I said, year after year in the playoffs, Giancarlo Stanton has showed up. He showed up and showed out. So I'm not going to pick on him. He's got a pass for me for life. I was picking on him last year. You can check my shows where I thought he was done. Listen, if Giancarlo gives me 240, 245 this year, 25, 30 home runs, I'm not saying boo. And then shows up again for the playoffs, I can't argue with that, because that's just who he is right now. And I'm more than happy with who he is right now. But he was brought in to protect Judge. That didn't happen. So when the Yankees got Soto, obviously you guys all saw this. You saw the production out of the 2-hole and the 3-hole, right? But that's gone now. So that's why I'm upset. Anyway, back to the shuffle. If they were able to sign him, what else were they going to do? If they're worried about money now, so mind you, they spent about $75 million. Remember, Soto's contract is with the Mets is for 51 point something. Yankees offered him 47 point something with an extra year, right? So they've spent about $75 million so far trying to build this team for the 2025 season. And in doing so, they're right now they're at a cap. So they have to get creative with trades or whatever they want to do. But my thought is, if they did sign him, what were they going to do? What moves would they get? Max Fried, and that's it? Like, what were they going to do with so many holes available on the team? So now they don't have him. He's over on the Mets. Now they've made some really good moves so far, but they seem to be stuck. They seem to be in a place to where they're not sure where they want to go next. And that doesn't bother me. I think they need to take their time. Why? I think that as more pitchers fall off the free agent market, more things, people start getting signed. They can sit back and wait to where teams are going to need a pitcher a la Marcus Stroman and try to make a trade. And like I said, I wouldn't eat too much of his contract, $2 million tops. There's guys that are less qualified than Marcus Stroman getting paid 17, 18, 19, $21 million a year. Marcus Stroman takes the field every 5 days. He gives you 150 innings or more, and he shows up and shows out. I think the American League East is a little tough for him. I think I can see him playing in maybe the National League Central, or maybe, the American League Central. I think those divisions would be good for Marcus Stroman for the type of pitcher that he is right now. I don't think he sits well in the American League East or the National League East or the National League West. I just don't see it. That was not with his repertoire and the decreased velocity that's happening with him right now. Maybe he finds that, or maybe he's working out over the winter break. I don't know. But I think that would be a good, if they could find teams to make that trade, that would be perfect for the Yankees to offer the $18 million. So they could make some moves. Or, like I said, eat $2 million and there's a team that'll pay $16 million for him, right? The Yankees pick up 2. That's more than fair, right? As for DJ LeMahieu, I don't understand how he's still on the team. Now, once again, they're going to have Cabrera and Peraza and LeMahieu battle out for third. I think that's what they're going to do. And to me, this sickens me. I'll explain to you why. Whoops, I've got a chat here. Let me go into the chat. Hey, any current Yankee news? None so far. None so far. Word up, Udell. What's going on, my brother? Thank you for commenting. Yeah, none so far, man. I'm just ranting and raving on the fact that they seem to be pondering moves per Jack Curry of the Yes Network, but I don't mind that. I want them to take their time. If you got any of the comments or anything you want to say, please, be my guest. But yeah, so I think that with them trying to, like, for example, if I was Brian Cashman, right? Say I'm the GM, and he's been around for years, and I know that it's a business, and some of them are maybe he has acquaintances, but then others, I'm sure he's friends with somebody. I know he's good friends with Ben Sherrington from Pittsburgh. I think he's a manager over there. And there's another guy I think he's friends with. Damn it. Anyway, my point is, you're telling me, and I wish I had an insider that can tell me this information, but you're telling me Brian can't call up, say a la Ben Sherrington or the guy from the Oakland A's. I forget his name. Not Billy Bean. Billy Bean passed away. God rest his soul. Oh, God rest Ricky Henderson's soul too. My condolences to he and his family. A lot of people passed away while we were gone. But I think you're telling me Cashman can't call him up and say, guys, I need a solid right here. I need some payroll relief. DJ LeMahieu is making $15 million a year for the next 2 years. That's $30 million. If I eat 5 out of that, so you take him for 10 this year, next year, I'll give you, a prospect, right? If I have to eat more, like $6 or $7 million a year, so now they're getting him for maybe $8 million a year, that team, then you don't get a prospect because I'm eating more money. You're telling me he can't call up one of his buddies and just be like, hey man, do me a solid. And next year or the year after, if you need some payroll relief or something or a prospect, let's talk. I owe you one. You're telling me they don't do that? Like I said, I wish somebody could tell me, because it seems weird that he's still on this team. And I like DJ LeMahieu. He was great when he was in his heyday. I was all for the signing for him. I didn't want him for 6 years, but I get why the Yankees did it for the AAV relief. But now they've got his contract should have ended this past year, and he would have been off the books. Higher AAV, but whatever. They did it for the annual average value of the contract, and now we're still stuck with him. But it amazes me that they can't trade this guy, even if they eat the majority of his salary. Even if they eat $8 million a year from LeMahieu, and somebody takes him for $8 million, he's a vet. He could still field. He's just going to be a 200. There's guys making more money than him that are hitting 200 in the MLB right now. So you're telling me nobody wants this guy? It's just weird. But to me, he's not the answer for third base. And the Yankees, like I said, I'm glad they're taking their time and thinking what moves can they make as pieces fall off the board, because eventually somebody is going to be pitching. I think that's where Marcus Stroman comes in. I think that if they do play with LeMahieu, if he does win the starting job for, during spring training, then I hope that Brian Cashman will simply say to Aaron Boone, listen, we're giving him a month and a half. I'm hoping they're going to have enough common sense to say he's got right before, Memorial Day, and then we have to make a move. Obviously, they can't do a trade because trading is over until the trade deadline, but maybe Peraza gets a shot, or somebody else gets a shot, or maybe somebody from the minors gets called up, but they can't go with him if he's not performing. It's going to be more detrimental to the team, and that's the missing piece. Like I said, Brendan Donovan to me would be the all-out fix for the Yankees. He could play second and play third, but like I said, from the rumors I've heard from the Cardinals on Cardinals territory, they're not giving him up right now. And if they want if they were to trade Brendan Donovan, it's probably going to be at the trade deadline. And at that point, they're going to want a haul of prospects from whichever team, not just the Yankees, but from anyone. So I don't see how the Yankees right now are going to make any moves, especially when there's so many players still on the board. I think they're going to have to wait, make strategic moves, make strategic trades. Like I said, anybody that's sexy out there, that I would want on a team that can really hit and have some pop, not available. Think about this. The Toronto Blue Jays are not going to trade Vladimir Guerrero to the Yankees. Not going to happen. The Toronto Blue Jays are not going to trade Vladimir Guerrero to the Boston Red Sox. Ain't going to happen. If they're going to make a trade, it's going to be to a national team. They're going to get him out of the American League because they don't want to face him. And my biggest fear is he goes to the Mets. If the Mets get Vladimir Guerrero with Soto, you could stamp a World Series on that team. They'll make it. They'll make it. I mean, listen, the games still have to be played. Injuries can happen, but they look pretty good. I'm not sure how far their starting rotation is going to get them, but that's a lethal force. But I just don't see Toronto trading him to us. I hear rumors that Chicago is trying to, extend Kyle Tucker. He said he's not doing extensions. And that's, like I said, that's why I haven't come on here, because I don't want to give you guys like bullshit news. Like, Kyle Tucker is going to free agency. So all the rumors that the Cubs are trying to extend him, he's not extending with the Cubs unless he's from the Midwest and wants to live out there. I don't know where Kyle Tucker's from, but he did say that he wants to go to free agency. He wants to get the most money, the most money possible. So, and that's good for him. It's not a bad thing. As for who else is out there, the Yankees need lefty relievers. I'm not sure why they haven't signed Tim Hill yet. They're probably going to do that. Maybe, like I said, maybe Cashman's notorious for doing trades during spring training when he sees there's little things that can be tweaked before the season starts. Maybe then a team has some, pitcher that gets injured. Wow. Well, we have Marcus Stroman. Hello, we're over here. Get that relief. And then they tell Tim Hill, hey, Tim, we're going to sign you. Just give us some time. Or they're saying, hey, Tim, we think your value is this. Maybe Tim Hill wants more. We don't know. I read an article today on Google where Nathaniel Lowe, I was hoping they would sign him, but he went to the Nationals for like basically nothing. And here's what I found out about that guy. He didn't want to get traded from Texas. He was dead against it, but he doesn't have a full no trade clause. So he goes where the team tells him to go. So he was saying, like, he was talking to his wife, he was on a hunting trip. Like, I don't want to leave, I want to stay. And then he saw that the Yankees signed Goldschmidt. So he was like relieved. He's like, oh, thank God, maybe I'm going to stay. Then Cleveland shipped off Josh Naylor to the Diamondbacks. He's like, oh, great, I'm going to be a Ranger. And then literally after he said to his wife, he got a phone call from the GM saying, hey, thank you for everything in your services. You're going to watch the Nationals. He's like, oh. So it seems like maybe, like, we look at it as like, why didn't Yankees get this guy? Well, if they're talking to the team and the team says, well, we don't want him in the American League, so no matter what you give us, he's going to the National League, those trade discussions are over. Like I said, we don't have the inside scoop. Or, hey, let me talk to your guy for a second. We're interested. We'd love to do a trade with you guys. Yeah, he doesn't want to be a Yankee. And at that point, if I'm a GM and the GM of that team is telling me I don't want to play for you, or the guy doesn't want to play, for a Northeast team or whatever, then obviously he's not a fit, right? Because like Cody Bellinger wanted to be here. Goldschmidt took less money because he wants to contend and win. Those people, Max Fried, they wanted to be Yankees. That's a good thing. That's a positive thing. I like players who want to be here, not the scrubs that come in here and just want the bag of cash, right? So, like I said, there's nothing new. I wish I had more news. Like I said, guys, I've been staying away because there's, like, right now there's a lull, and that's fine. Like, as content creators, we can only give you so many different prospect views, so many different angles to where they can go. And like I said, I'd rather come on here and say, hey, this just happened, or this is going down. As for Roki Sasaki, I don't know. I would love for the Yankees to pick him up. I read an article today that said that from people who know him, he don't give a crap about any of the team. His teams are the Dodgers, the Padres, and possibly the Giants. That's it. So all this hoopla with his agent giving bullshit remarks on how, hey man, yeah, he doesn't mind playing for a big market team. Oh yeah, he just wants to have the best pitching outfit and to be mentored and to become the greatest. It's all smoke and mirrors because, like I said, there was that article that came out that called out Joe Wolf and his secret handshake with the Dodgers. So now he's got to pivot and be like, yeah, no, there's no backhanded deals going on here. He's going to make it like Roki Sasaki is just out looking at these 6 teams, Yankees, Mets, Dodgers, so on and so forth, and make it seem like it's open hunting season for him. No, it's not. It's smoke and mirrors. The guy's going to be a Dodger or a Padre or a Giant. And I'm sick of these reporters, these fucking reporters, man, these baseball reporters. They keep saying that all these Japanese players, they love the West Coast because it's too long of a trip. I don't give a fuck. That's bullshit. They play where they want to play, where they want to be. These guys aren't flying via puddle jumper from LAX to fucking Japan, right? I don't care if Roki Sasaki makes $6 million a year. If that's what he's going to get as a signing bonus, he can afford a first-class fucking trip, right? And then in 5 years or 6 years, once his arbitration becomes eligible, he's making more money. If he's good, if he's what he's going to be, he can afford to fly a private jet or fly first class. Some of these new planes are amazing first class. They've got beds that like the seat like becomes a bed and you have your own little cabin in your own rooms. Like it's crazy shit. So don't tell me that he's cramped in a plane. He's not flying coach. He's not flying on the fucking wing, right? So all this narrative that these guys don't want to play on the East Coast, that's all reporters putting shit in these guys' heads. And it's sickening. It's sickening. Matsui never complained about how long the flight was. Tanaka never. These guys, give me a break. It's who the hot team is. Right now, the hot team is the Dodgers. They are the team to beat. They've got this little thing going on there globally over there that they're taking over, the East. So it is what it is, right? And listen, good for them, right? They've got a great marketing campaign over there. But once again, I want players who want to be a Yankee, not that they have to force them. If Sasaki says he wants to be the best, shit, Matt Blake, Franken Blake, give me a fucking break. He is the best. Matt Blake, look at the Yankees ERA over the past 4 or 5 years. Matt Blake is a genius. You put him in his little lab and, he creates his monster there with all the lightning and stuff. And all of a sudden this no-name pitcher becomes a good pitcher for the Yankees. If you want a mentor, okay, fine. Luis Hill just won Rookie of the Year. Garrett Cole was former Cy Young winner. You want a mentor? There's your 2 mentors right there. So all this bullshit that Roki Sasaki wants to be mentored, nah, dude, he's going to LA. He's going to the Dodgers or Padres. It's all spoken by Joe Wolf. And like I said, it sickens me. So he doesn't care about that. He's buddies with Yamamoto. He's buddies with Shohei Ohtani. And then him saying, I don't want any players to show up at these meetings. It's all smoke and mirrors, guys. So I wish he would be a Yankee. Once again, not for his skills. I said in the previous episode, I want him because if we get more pitching, the Yankees can leverage more pitching to possibly fill that second or third base gap. That means Clark Schmidt would probably have to go. I'm hoping they keep Luis Hill, but if he has to go too, well, and they keep Schmitty, so be it. But if we pick up another pitcher and that's Roki, you could trade someone from your pitching depth again, or maybe it's a Will Warren that goes. I don't know, because Clayton Beater's knocking on the doors. And they got a couple of the young guys that are down in the farm that are knocking on doors to come up. So we have depth in pitching. Anyway, that was just my rant for today. Like I said, I didn't want to, stay on too long. Didn't have much news out there. Appreciate you, Udell, for popping in and checking me out as usual. I was going to do a video. But I figured let me just do a live stream instead. But yeah, guys, remember to like, subscribe, and comment. It's really appreciated. Let me just throw that up there. There you go. Likes and share. Go. You got to watch this guy on YouTube from Sports Geek, Errol. He's out of control. Just speaks his mind. Anyway, if I hear anything, I'll pop back on. Like I said, hope you guys had a really good new year. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And hopefully everybody's going to have a healthy, prosperous new year for 2025. Glad to be back. And like I said, if something pops up, I'll jump back in. But right now, I really want Cashman to try and work out a deal to trade LeMahieu. I think that's important. Eat some of that contract. And we'll see if we can get Roki Sasaki. Would be awesome. But we'll see what happens. Guys, Thank you for watching Sports Geek. I'm Errol. Have a great evening. I'll see you soon. Peace.